They play hard, but this has been one of the most disappointing seasons in the Steph Curry era for Golden State. Injuries, fall to the 10th seed, could get worse. For the first time, Steph just hinted he could leave the Warriors someday. And this ain't clickbait. He actually said this and was not joking. But the Warriors know this and they've got a plan. ESPN reports, we're about to see the last big offseason for the Steph Warriors. They got a plan to land a gigantic co-star to add with Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. Two huge names they are targeting that could change everything. But first, what did Steph say? Well, remember those old clips of Steph and Seth growing up on NBA courts? That's because their dad was an original member of the Hornets. Steph grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina. And family reunion last week where dad, Del Curry, finally had his jersey retired. But during an interview with local TV, it turns out Steph asked his dad if he could wear number 30, take it down from the rafters if Steph ever joined the Hornets.
You always keep your options open. I know what that means when you get your jersey retired. It's immortalized. Nobody should be able to touch it. But yeah, I'm sure he'd be able to make a special exception if that was the case.
Wait, what? And Del was asked, did that really happen? Steph asked about playing on the Hornets and a number 30?
He already asked me that. That was a quick yeah. We take it down for that, no doubt.
Yeah. And I know people are like, oh, that would never happen. Do you remember this quote from a few years ago? Steph said, everybody asked me, do you want to play 1 year for the Hornets and come back home? And I'm not breaking any news right now, okay? I'm not making any promises. All I would say, though, is if there is a team that I did want to play for that's not named the Warriors, that would be it. How do you not admit this is on his mind and has been? Playing his last season back in front of his hometown with his dad calling the games on TV. Remember, Del is the Hornets color commentator. No, impossible. They said the same thing about some other legends. Most famous examples, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone in purple and gold. But how weird is this pic of Hakeem Olajuwon in a Raptors jersey? Yeah, 17 seasons in Houston, last one in Toronto. Or this of Patrick Ewing on the Magic? Entire career as a Knick, except for 2 seasons at the end. This could absolutely happen. And if there's one thing that could take Steph away from Golden State, it is the family bond that he's got in Charlotte. Now, dude isn't a free agent until after next season, so this might be one last gigantic summer for Golden State. One last big swing to build around Steph and win one more title. But, oh my gosh, Prize Picks has made March Madness so much fun. I cannot wait to see what the NBA playoffs are like. But we've got about 10 games left, and you know I am playing Prize Picks every night just to make these games like 10 times more fun. Winning cash happens to be a bonus, pretty good bonus though lately. We have now won 4 of the last 6 picks on a roll. But if you want to get your picks in like me, it's so easy. All you got to do is pick more or less on a few players' stats on the app. Awesome. Or, since we're kind of on a heater, you might want to take my picks, my 2 for tonight. First up is Pascal Siakam, more on his points plus boards. And then Brandon Ingram, less on his assists. And best of luck if you're telling those picks. Prize Picks available in 45 states like Texas, California, all these states you see here on your screen. It's your first time signing up, no better time with March Madness, NBA playoffs coming up. Please use code AMHOOPS when you sign up. That helps out the channel tremendously, and it helps you. Use code AMHOOPS. You play just $5, you get $50 in lineups for free instantly, win or lose. Well, ESPN says that's exactly what they plan to do. Now, I want to discuss the 2 gigantic names that they're going to target, but what about the draft? Because it turns out the Warriors have a major opportunity coming up. Yes, the season has been miserable. That means good things for the draft pick. Now, Steph has been out with a right knee issue since January 30th. In that time, the Warriors have gone 6-15, dropping from 8th to 10th in the standings. And do they really want to ramp Steph up for a play-in game on the road without Jimmy Butler? Apparently, yes. As of a few days ago, Warriors say Steph is working to a return. But on the flip side, what if they tank? How high of a pick could they actually get in a loaded draft this summer? A lot higher than you might think. Right now, the Warriors are in the 11th seed in the lottery standings. Not a great spot. Most likely outcome is pick 11. But the draft lottery exists for a reason, and we see wild stuff happen every year. Golden State has a 2% shot at number 1, 2.2% for number 2, and 2.4% at number 3. You combine those, you are looking at roughly a 9.4% chance they land in the top 4. That's almost 1 in 10 odds they completely change the franchise overnight. The kids in that top 4 are future all-stars. And remember, lottery chaos is real. A move like this in the top 4 happens every year. Check out this chart. Hawks won the first pick in 2024 with 3% odds. Mavs won it last year, 1.8%. Improbable is not impossible. Now, if they do luck into a top 4 pick in this draft, it's one of the most talked about draft classes in years. AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, the kind of names that don't come around every cycle. Now, the realistic scenario, pick 11, which, by the way, in a loaded draft is not nothing. But let's be honest, if they do get pick 11, that thing gonna be traded so fast for somebody this summer. And it turns out ESPN's Mark Spears spoke with Steph and brought up 2 very big names.
I think he knows whether it's a Giannis, whether it's a LeBron James, like there's going to be somebody next summer that's going to join him, join Jimmy, join Draymond, assuming he's still there too. Remember, man, this is the Warriors. They got a brand. They could quick fix and add some talent.
Wow. So either Giannis or LeBron James in Golden State? Well, we just got news on both of those guys' future. Now, I think Giannis is plan A for the summer. And I know we are all tired about hearing about Giannis's future. And it turns out the Bucks are tired too. The team owner just gave a somewhat feisty interview to ESPN. Look, one of 2 things are gonna happen, okay? Either Giannis is gonna be extended or he'll be traded, okay? We can't just let him play out his final year of a contract. We can't afford that. It's not consistent with what's good for the organization. Translation, Judgment Day is coming on the whole Giannis thing because the Bucks are done playing games. And at the same time, dude's trade value is getting a lot lower, okay? Giannis is injured yet again, which happens every year at this time, it seems. 3 of the last 4 postseasons, Giannis has been banged up. So who really wants to break the bank for the Greek freak? Spurs are a no. Rockets maybe, but feels desperate. So the Dubs offer is still on the table. At the deadline confirmed, they offered 4 first-round picks, including 26, 28, 30, and 32 unprotected. Maybe this time the Bucks have interest. And if not, plan B, LeBron James on the Warriors. The Olympic night in the actual NBA. The 2 biggest individual fan bases joining forces, LeBron fans and Steph Curry fans. It would be huge. Well, The Athletic says, as recently as late January, the widely held consensus around the league was that there's no way LeBron will be back in a Lakers jersey next season. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors are often mentioned by league execs as his most likely destinations. So a 2-team race. Well, that was before this recent run by LA, but we'll see. The Warriors' selling point to Bron is playing with Steph and location. It is a lot easier for him to fly home to LA for family from the Bay Area than Cleveland. But from a basketball standpoint, Cavs make way more sense. They have a better roster and in the easier Eastern Conference. I mean, money is about the same on both teams. If it's basketball, you have got to think Bron goes back east. Either way, it is a gigantic summer for the Warriors. They will 100% take one big last swing to build around Steph. And if not, maybe he does actually start making plans to end his career somewhere else. But that would be the same year that the NBA plans to expand to 32 teams. Now, Adam Silver's got a big vision to make it happen, right? But first, he has got to solve tanking. Last thing he wants is to create 2 new teams who immediately start to lose games on purpose. So the commish has new rules to fix tanking, right? But if he's not careful, these new rules might actually make it worse.